Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Now, y'all Black Americans have been complaining for years about Hollywood casting these non-FBA people in FBA roles. Now, this is not about division because I think that Black people all over the world come to the United States to get on or to make money. A lot of Black people do. A lot of Black people do because we have made a way for them. They don't want to give us credit for the doors that we have opened, but they want to take advantage of every door that we have opened for Black people worldwide because America wasn't doing anything for any Black people before Black Americans opened the doors in this country. But Black people have been complaining for years about Hollywood taking Black Brits is what they call themselves. There's no such thing as a Black Brit. They're really African and Caribbean immigrants to England, but they're calling themselves Black Brits. But they've been coming over here, taking roles, playing our icons, telling our stories, and not really being grateful for the opportunities they are giving. And I give you Cynthia Erivo. Now, she's been the worst at it. She has been the worst. The rest of them will at least keep quiet about it, but she has been running her mouth. So Black people really have a bug in their behind about her. But anyway, Black people have been complaining for years about them coming over here and taking roles from FBA or Black American actors. They need those roles too. They need that money too. So Druski did a skit, and it's got a lot of them upset about it because he's showing where they don't know us, they don't know our history, and then the white media will interview them, and they'll be sitting there all pompous and talking like they know something about Black Americans, and oh, they had to do this, and and they don't know one thing about what they're talking about. So they don't really have enough of what it takes to really portray our characters. And when they say Black Americans shouldn't play their characters, I agree with them. So I don't have a problem with everybody sticking with their own group and everybody portraying their own group. And they're not fooling us. We know that they work for less money than a Black actor will because Black Americans know their worth. They know that we have cultural influence worldwide and they want to be paid like that. So why does Hollywood keep casting Black Brits in Black American roles? This is not, and I'm going to say this again, this is not a video about blaming Black Brits. They want to work. They want to become famous too. This is a video about Hollywood and the way the industry makes casting decisions that affect foundational Black American actors. We can talk about the pattern without attacking anybody's identity, although I have already talked about Cynthia Erivo. This is a conversation, and it's a growing conversation in the Black American community about why so many major roles, especially roles rooted in Black American history, struggle, and or culture, why so many of those roles are going to Black British actors. And the question isn't, aren't they talented? Because many of them are. The question is, why does Hollywood keep making the same choice? Now, let's get into the industry logic. Hollywood has a long history of choosing actors who feel neutral, non-political, or less risky to them. And sometimes Black British actors get framed as more classically trained, more polished, or more detached from America's racial politics. Now that's it right there. That's the answer right there. They're more detached from America's racial politics. FBA actors are not detached. They are attached to our racial politics. And that's what it is. It doesn't have anything to do with classical training because Black American actors are just as well trained as any British actors. Just because they went through those white Royal Theater or whatever program they have does not make them better actors, especially about telling our stories. We can tell our stories better than anybody. I don't care how well classically trained they are. They're working cheap and they don't give any trouble. That's what it is, and they ought to call it what it is. So this business about classically trained is just a bunch of bull. They are not attached to America's racial politics. In other words, they're not going to go off on somebody in the middle of a script or something like that. So let's bottom line it. They are not attached to America's racial politics. They work cheap and they don't give any trouble. That's it in a nutshell. So, all of these lies that they are telling about them being classically trained and more polished and all of that, those are industry stereotypes, not facts, but they shape casting decisions. Now, the Black Americans actor's perspective is not about other Black people's talent or having the right to play the role. It's about the fact that our stories, our ancestors, our movements, our trauma, and even our triumphs are being portrayed by people who didn't grow up inside our lineage. Black Americans and Black Brits share a skin color, but we don't share the same historical experience. So when Hollywood keeps outsourcing Black American roles, it can feel like the industry is saying your story is valuable, but your people aren't necessary to tell it. And we're saying, yes, it is. It's necessary for our people to tell our stories. And that's where Druski comes in. Druski is a 31-year-old comedian and influencer who parodies everybody. This time he's doing a parody of Black British actors trying to tell Black American stories. They don't know what they're doing. But Hollywood keeps casting them because they are trying to tell us, yes, they can tell your stories. No, they can't. No, they can't. So Druski is making fun of them trying to act like they know what they're doing. It's a slave movie, and Druski is playing a Black British actor. He's playing the role, and then he's trying to interact with the director. I'm not going to play the scene here, but I'm going to pin it to the comment section. And if I forget it, I know somebody is going to remind me of it. Now, when I put it in the comment section, y'all look in the comment section for the skit. It is funny and it tells something about the people who are coming over here trying to play roles that they don't know anything about. So Hollywood is now realizing that Black people are not going for this. And we need to keep speaking out about this because the Black Brits need to work. We're not trying to stop them from working. There's plenty of work in Hollywood, and they can tell somebody's story besides ours. We need to tell our own stories. They are often telling stories that they didn't grow up in. This is not their lineage. So Druski's skit exposes how absurd that can look when you strip away the so-called polish. This is why Black people started talking about it and laughing about it because it's not authentic. It's not authentic. And we want authenticity. Maybe the white directors and the white producers and casting directors want polish, but we want authenticity. And that's why they're shocked at how well the Michael Jackson story did because Michael Jackson's nephew is playing him. It's authenticity. And that movie has run away with everybody else for probably for the second week. But Drewski's portrayal is accurate because it reflects real casting trends, real actor behaviors, and real cultural tensions that Black Americans have been talking about for years. He didn't invent the critique, he just delivered it with comedic precision. And it hit. It hit with us and it made the Brits mad. So that's a good thing. Okay, y'all, so I am going to pin the skit to the comment section and you can see it for yourself if you haven't seen it. Okay, let me know what you think about the video and have a good evening.